There is a pile somewhere in your life that never shrinks. It might be literal, papers on a desk, emails in an inbox, messages unanswered, or it might be invisible, a conversation you keep postponing, a decision you keep delaying, a project you keep promising yourself you will start on Monday. Every night you go to bed with the same quiet anxiety. Every morning you wake up and find a new reason to wait one more day. You tell yourself you need more information, more energy, more clarity, more time. But what you really need is already inside you, and you are terrified to use it. This is not a time management problem. This is a fear management problem, and almost nobody talks about it honestly. The world has a simple explanation for procrastination. You are lazy. You lack discipline. You need better habits, better apps, better planners, better coffee. But if you look closely at the chronic procrastinator, they are often the busiest person in the room. They are organizing drawers, answering low-priority emails, deep cleaning the kitchen, researching side projects they will never start. They are not avoiding work. They are avoiding a specific kind of work, the kind that matters, the kind that exposes them, the kind that might fail. Procrastination is not the absence of effort. It is the redirection of effort toward things that feel safe. And the Bible has a different word for it. It is called hiding. The first recorded act of human procrastination happened in a garden. Adam heard God walking in the cool of the day, and instead of running toward the voice that had always loved him, he hid among the trees. He was not lazy, he was ashamed, and shame is the engine that drives most procrastination. Not the shame of being caught, but the shame of being seen as you really are, the shame of producing something imperfect, the shame of discovering that your best might not be good enough. So you hide behind preparation, you hide behind research, you hide behind waiting for the perfect moment, and the work that was meant to exist remains unborn. Not because you lacked ability, but because you lacked courage. Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 4 says, "Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap." This is the Bible calling out a specific kind of procrastination, the kind that dresses itself as wisdom. You are not avoiding the work. You are analyzing conditions. You are waiting for the right season. You are gathering more data. You are being prudent. But the farmer who waits for perfect weather never plants a seed. The investor who waits for certainty never makes a trade. The writer who waits for inspiration never writes a sentence. The parent who waits for the perfect moment never has the conversation. Conditions are never perfect. They are only ever sufficient, and sufficient is the threshold where faith begins. Perfectionism is the most respectable form of procrastination. It sounds like a virtue, it feels like a standard, but it functions as a trap. Because if nothing is ever good enough to release, then you never have to face the possibility of rejection. You never have to discover that your best work is not as good as you imagined. You never have to learn that your identity is not your output. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3 says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." Notice what it does not say. It does not say commit when you are sure. It does not say commit when it is perfect. It does not say commit when the conditions are ideal. It says commit, period. The establishing comes after the commitment, not before. You don't wait for confidence to act. You act with uncertainty and let the commitment build the confidence. James chapter 4, verse 14 asks, "What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes." This is not meant to depress you. It is meant to mobilize you. You don't have unlimited tomorrows. Every day you delay is a day you will never recover. The conversation you postponed might never happen. The project you delayed might be done by someone else. The healing you avoided might harden into a permanent wound. The Bible does not treat time as an infinite resource. It treats time as a trust, a deposit that must be used before it evaporates. The question is not whether you are ready. The question is whether you are willing to be used while you are still unfinished. The biblical cure for procrastination is not better planning. It is uglier starting. Genesis shows us that creation began with chaos. The earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and God began anyway. He did not wait for order to arrive. He spoke into the disorder, and let the order emerge through the work. Your first draft will be bad. Your first attempt will be clumsy. Your first conversation will be awkward. Your first day at the gym will be humbling. But the second draft improves because the first one existed. The second attempt succeeds because the first one taught you. The second conversation flows because the first one broke the ice. You cannot edit a blank page. You cannot improve what does not exist. Start ugly. Start scared. Start uncertain. But start. Zechariah chapter 4 verse 10 says, "Don't despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." God does not need your finished masterpiece. He needs your first small step, the email sent, the paragraph written, the call made, the application submitted, the apology offered, the budget opened, the walk taken. These tiny acts of obedience are the atoms that build momentum. And momentum is the enemy of procrastination, because once you are moving, stopping requires a decision. And while you are still, starting requires a decision. The physics of the soul work the same way as the physics of the body. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Your job is not to finish. Your job is to begin. Finishing is God's department. Here is the truth that will set you free. You don't need to feel ready to be used. You don't need to feel qualified to be called. You don't need to feel worthy to begin. The God who created you already approved the project. The only question left is whether you will pick up the tools. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It is a faith problem. It is the belief that your future self will be braver than your present self. But your future self is just you, with less time. The courage you are waiting for does not arrive before the action. It arrives during it. So open the document, send the message, make the decision, take the step, not because you are fearless, but because you are faithful. And faithfulness is the only habit that turns intention into reality.